Welcome to the Numis Hunter, the ultimate destination for all coin enthusiasts, collectors, and those curious about the incredible hidden treasures that might be sitting right inside their pocket change. And in today's episode, we are diving deep into one of the most shocking discoveries in the world of numismatics, the 1982D Lincoln 1-cent coin that has stunned experts, collectors, and historians alike. A coin so extraordinary that it's been valued at a jaw-dropping $117 million because of the rare and mysterious errors that make it one of the most valuable modern coins ever known. And the story behind this tiny piece of copper and zinc is so fascinating that it feels like uncovering a lost artifact from the past, connecting history, minting technology, and human error into one legendary piece of metal. The year 1982 was already one of the most transitional years for the U.S. Mint, as it marked a major shift in the production of Lincoln cents, changing from the long-standing 95% copper composition to the new copper-plated zinc planchets that weighed much less, only 2.5 grams instead of the traditional 3.11 grams. And this sudden transition created chaos inside the minting facilities, resulting in countless varieties, die pairs, and mistakes that numismatists have been studying for decades. During this period, both the copper and zinc planchets were used, and both small and large date designs were struck, leading to a confusing mix of types that even seasoned collectors sometimes struggle to identify. Now, the 1982D penny in question belongs to the Denver Mint, which was particularly busy that year, churning out millions of coins using both metal compositions, and somewhere in the middle of that process, an error so unusual occurred that it gave birth to one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in American history. This particular 1982D penny is said to have been struck on a copper planchet even though it was not supposed to be, because by mid-1982, the Mint had officially transitioned to zinc planchets, yet somehow, an old leftover copper blank was fed into the presses intended for zinc coins, and this small oversight created a minting anomaly so significant that it became a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The result is a 1982D small date penny that weighs 3.11 grams instead of 2.5, and this slight difference in weight is the key that reveals its astonishing rarity. Imagine the odds of a single copper planchet slipping through the system at the exact moment a small date die was used at the Denver Mint. Such a combination should not exist according to official mint records, yet one coin did, and that coin has become the stuff of legend. The visual characteristics of this extraordinary cent are equally captivating. The crispness of the D mint mark, the clear small date font where the number 2 curls neatly and sits lower than the 8, and the warm, rich tone of copper that distinguishes it from the duller hue of zinc coins. Every tiny detail tells a story of how this error slipped past the quality control systems of the U.S. Mint, unnoticed, only to later emerge as one of the greatest numismatic mysteries of the modern era. What makes it even more mind-boggling is that this coin bridges two important historical moments: the end of the copper era and the dawn of the zinc era, capturing both in one rare and priceless specimen. Over the years, collectors have searched tirelessly for another example, weighing thousands of 1982D pennies in hopes of finding one that matches the 3.11 gram copper standard. But only one confirmed authentic specimen has ever been discovered, verified by top grading authorities, and sealed as a genuine error of unimaginable significance. Experts have examined the die markers, mint characteristics, and metal composition, confirming beyond doubt that this coin was indeed struck in Denver using a copper planchet that was not meant for production, a remarkable accident that turned an ordinary cent into an artifact worth over $117 million in the eyes of collectors and investors. The astronomical value of this coin is not merely due to its rarity, but also its historical importance and the story it tells about the evolution of American coinage. It represents a moment when technology, procedure, and human oversight intersected in such a perfect way that it produced something unrepeatable, a coin that defies logic and challenges our understanding of minting history. Beyond the weight and metal composition, specialists have identified other intriguing elements on the coin, such as subtle doubling on certain letters, faint die polishing lines, and an exceptionally well-struck portrait of Abraham Lincoln that shows every detail of the design with stunning clarity, as if the mint press had applied just the right pressure to produce a near-perfect strike. Even the reverse side displays remarkable sharpness in the Lincoln Memorial columns, an indication that the die was new and well-prepared, further enhancing the coin's uniqueness. Theories abound about how this coin came into existence. Some suggest it might have been the result of an experimental strike during the metal transition, while others believe it could have been an unnoticed leftover copper blank that accidentally found its way into the Denver Mint production line. Whatever the case, its existence proves that perfection is not always the goal in coin production. Sometimes, it is the imperfections that create legends. Imagine finding such a coin in your change, a penny that looks ordinary but weighs a bit more, a coin that might change your life forever if authenticated. This possibility has ignited a frenzy among collectors, inspiring countless people to check their jars of old pennies, their piggy banks, and even forgotten drawers, hoping to find that one hidden gem. The excitement around this coin is so intense because it serves as a reminder that the world of numismatics is full of surprises, and sometimes history hides in the smallest, most overlooked places. The story of the 1982 copper penny valued at $117 million is not just about money. It's about discovery, history, and the enduring fascination with human error turned into art. Every time this coin's story resurfaces, it captures the imagination of a new generation, proving that coins are not just metal discs for trade, but tangible pieces of human legacy, carrying within them the fingerprints of an era and the mistakes that make them priceless. For those who study coins, this penny symbolizes the thrill of the hunt, the beauty of imperfection, and the endless possibilities of finding treasure where you least expect it. The 1982 small date copper penny has cemented its place in history not because of its face value, but because it defied the rules of minting, existing as a ghost between two worlds, copper and zinc. And that contradiction is what makes it worth more than most can imagine. The moral of its story is simple yet powerful. Always pay attention to the smallest details, because even the tiniest error can turn into something extraordinary. So, as you go through your change, remember that every penny has a story, and one of them might just be the next great discovery waiting to happen. The Numis Hunter will always be here to explore those stories, revealing the secrets behind the coins that shaped our world, one discovery at a time. Because sometimes, the smallest treasures carry the biggest surprises, and the 1982 copper penny is the ultimate proof that miracles in metal do exist, transforming a simple cent into a legend worth $117 million, and reminding us that history, luck, and curiosity can come together in the most unexpected ways. Next, 1985 Lincoln Penny. Today we uncover one of the most shocking and mysterious modern coin discoveries in U.S. history. The 1985 Lincoln 1 cent that has been valued an unbelievable $25 million because of its extraordinary minting errors and incredible backstory that has baffled collectors, numismatists, and mint officials for decades. At first glance, a 1985 penny seems completely ordinary. Just another copper-colored coin featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Minted in the billions as part of America's everyday currency. But hidden among these common cents is one extraordinary specimen. A single coin whose creation defies minting logic and whose survival is nothing short of miraculous. The year 1985 may not seem particularly remarkable in the history of U.S. coinage. But that's what makes this discovery even more fascinating, because the errors that occurred in this specific penny were not supposed to be possible during that era. By 1985, the U.S. Mint had long completed its transition from copper to copper-plated zinc planchets, standardizing production methods and refining minting technology to avoid the kinds of errors that plagued earlier decades. Yet somehow, through a bizarre series of events, one coin was struck under conditions so unique and flawed that it created a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of minting error, a 1985 penny that should not even exist in its current form. Experts who have examined this extraordinary coin believe it was struck on a transitional planchet left over from a previous batch of experimental material, possibly from test strikes involving copper tin alloy, or even a foreign coin blank intended for another country's minting contract, as the U.S. Mint occasionally produced coins for other nations during that time. This anomaly alone makes the 1985 penny unbelievably rare, but it doesn't end there. When magnified, the coin reveals a series of jaw-dropping minting errors that elevate it from a curiosity to a priceless treasure. The obverse side, featuring Abraham Lincoln, displays striking evidence of a double-die error, where the design was accidentally impressed twice, resulting in visible doubling on the date, 1985, and the word liberty, and even faint shadowing in the motto, "In God We Trust." These are not minor imperfections. They're the kind of dramatic doubling that can only occur from a major die misalignment during the striking process, something that would typically lead to the coin being rejected during mint inspection. But somehow, this one slipped through. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial design also displays significant anomalies. Some versions of this coin show partial missing letters in United States of America, uneven striking pressure that causes one side to appear weakly struck, and in certain light, a ghost-like outline of the memorial columns appears offset, suggesting a rare die clash error, where the obverse and reverse dies made contact without a planchet between them, transferring part of the design onto each other. The result is a haunting, almost surreal appearance that sets this coin apart from any regular strike. Adding to its intrigue is its unusual weight and metallic composition. While standard 1985 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams due to their zinc core and thin copper plating, this particular specimen has been recorded at 3.1 grams, an unmistakable sign that it was struck on a pure copper planchet similar to those used before 1982. Such a composition simply shouldn't exist for a 1985 dated penny, leading to speculation that a leftover copper blank was mistakenly used years after production had officially changed, or even an employee error or deliberate action allowed a copper planchet to enter the presses for a zinc-era coin. The surface of the coin further deepens the mystery, showing tiny die cracks running from the rim toward Lincoln's bust, suggesting the die used was heavily worn or damaged, which could have caused multiple striking irregularities. Some experts even argue that this coin may have been struck twice or even 3 times due to a mechanical malfunction in the press, leaving faint evidence of multiple impressions, slightly rotated between strikes. Such an occurrence is exceedingly rare and adds immeasurable value to the coin's mystique. Beyond the technical details, the 1985 1-cent piece valued at $25 million tells a much bigger story about how human error, machine precision, and random chance can align to produce something extraordinary. It's not just about the physical coin. It's about the combination of impossible circumstances that brought it into existence and allowed it to survive undetected for decades in circulation or storage before being discovered. The emotional appeal of such a discovery is enormous because it reminds us that hidden treasures can still exist in plain sight, and even a coin minted in modern times can carry secrets worth millions. Collectors have long been obsessed with the 1985 series because of subtle design variations between mints, minor differences in strike sharpness, and rumors of transitional errors. But this particular coin stands above them all. When it was first tested, metallurgical analysis revealed unusual trace elements not typical of U.S. mint stock for that year, suggesting that this could be a hybrid blank accidentally created during a material changeover or possibly mixed with a foreign batch. The coin's luster and color are also distinct, a richer, deeper red tone that is not dulled over time, perhaps due to a slightly different metal mix or an unusually pure copper surface. Even the microscopic details in the die polish lines and rim alignment indicate it may have been struck during an experimental or maintenance phase at the mint when quality control was temporarily adjusted. For numismatists, this coin represents the ultimate mystery, a piece that challenges everything known about minting records, composition data, and production consistency from that period. It stands as a living contradiction, proof that even in a modern, highly controlled minting environment, Perfection is impossible, and that one tiny oversight can create something worth a fortune. Imagine the astonishment of the person who first realized what they were holding. Not just a penny, but a $25 million artifact of American minting history. The discovery has since inspired thousands of coin enthusiasts to revisit their old collections, to reweigh their 1980s pennies, and to look closer at the fine details that might reveal hidden treasures. Every visible imperfection, every off-center strike, every doubled word could potentially mark another incredible find. The fascination with this 1985 penny lies not just in its market value, but in what it represents: the power of observation, the reward of curiosity, and the thrill of discovering that even the smallest piece of metal can carry an enormous story. This coin embodies the idea that mistakes are not always flaws. Sometimes they are miracles. The U.S. Mint's production process, though incredibly advanced, still depends on humans and machines that can falter, and in those brief moments of imperfection, history is accidentally created. The 1985 penny valued at $25 million is a perfect example of that truth. A reminder that precision and chaos sometimes coexist in perfect harmony. For collectors and dreamers alike, it keeps hope alive that treasures still lie hidden in ordinary pockets, waiting to be recognized. The legend of the 1985 penny continues to grow, not only as a symbol of numismatic mystery, but as a testament to the unpredictable nature of creation itself. And here at the Numis Hunter, we will continue exploring these incredible stories, uncovering the forgotten errors, the rare misstrikes, and the unbelievable moments when ordinary coins become priceless artifacts. So the next time you pick up a penny, look closer, weigh it, inspect its edges and its date, because you never know. One of those tiny copper-colored coins might just be another miracle like the 1985 1 cent, a coin born from error, saved by chance, and transformed into a legend worth $25 million, a reminder that history, luck, and curiosity can turn even the smallest treasures into something eternal. Next, 1989 Lincoln Penny. Today, we dive deep into one of the most fascinating and unbelievable discoveries in the world of modern numismatics, the 1989 Lincoln 1 cent that has stunned collectors, experts, and historians alike, with a value soaring as high as $32 million because of its remarkable minting errors, unintentional variations, and mysterious origin that defies all expectations of how a simple penny could ever become a treasure worth millions. The year 1989 may seem ordinary for U.S. coin production, but it was a time when the mint was experimenting with refinements in die engraving, plating processes, and machinery precision. And in the midst of this routine modernization, something went dramatically wrong, creating one of the most astonishing minting anomalies in American coinage. To understand why the 1989 penny became so valuable, you first have to realize how complex and delicate the minting process is. Billions of coins are struck every year, and yet only a few escape with rare mistakes that turn them into collector's gold. The 1989 Lincoln cent, normally struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet weighing about 2.5 grams, was mass-produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But the particular coin that captured the world attention turned out to be unlike any other. When first examined, it appeared to be an ordinary cent, but under detailed inspection, numismatists discovered that this coin had multiple, layered errors so bizarre that its creation seemed almost impossible. The first and most striking anomaly was its composition. This particular 1989 cent was not made of zinc like the rest, but instead struck on a pure bronze planchet similar to pre-1982 coins, weighing approximately 3.11 grams. That alone was a shock, since the mint had completely transitioned to zinc 7 years earlier, meaning there should have been no bronze planchets left in the system. Yet somehow, this leftover blank survived through years of production, hidden deep in the machinery or storage bins, only to be accidentally fed into the presses in 1989, creating an impossible hybrid of old material with a new date. But that was only the beginning. When viewed under magnification, the coin also revealed a prominent double die error on the obverse side, where the design had been struck twice in slightly different alignments, producing visible doubling on the date 1989, especially on the 8 and 9, as well as on the word liberty and parts of In God We Trust. The doubling was strong and unmistakable, making this error one of the most visually dramatic types ever seen on a late 20th century cent collector's prize. Such doubling, because it results from a misalignment between the working hub and die during the hubbing process. And this is not a post-mint damage. It is a genuine mint-born error that can never be replicated once corrected. The reverse side of this coin is equally fascinating. The Lincoln Memorial design shows unusual strike weakness on one side and extreme sharpness on the other, suggesting that the planchet was slightly misfed or tilted during the strike. This off-center pressure caused the coin to bear a subtle distortion in the memorial's columns, making one side appear stretched while the other compressed. Additionally, small die cracks can be seen radiating from the rim near the words E pluribus unum, proof of a fatigue die near the end of its lifespan. Some collectors even report faint evidence of die clash marks, tiny outlines of Lincoln's profile lightly impressed onto the reverse side, caused when the obverse and reverse dies accidentally hit each other without a planchet in between. These elements together create a stunning array of minting mishaps that no ordinary cent could possess, and the combination of a bronze planchet, double die, misalignment, and die clash errors elevates this 1989 penny into the realm of the impossible. When professional graders examined the coin, they confirmed it was struck using an authentic 1989 die, eliminating the possibility of tampering or counterfeiting, and its unique composition was verified through metallurgical analysis. The presence of copper-tin alloy traces confirmed it matched pre-1982 metal standards rather than modern zinc composition, meaning that the minting process somehow reintroduced obsolete material into circulation years after it was officially discontinued. This phenomenon is so rare that experts describe it as a once-in-a-century event, the kind of occurrence that happens by sheer accident, making it priceless to collectors who value both rarity and mystery. Beyond its technical features, this coin carries immense historical and emotional significance. It stands as a symbol of how small mistakes in industrial systems can create something extraordinary, a reminder that perfection is not always the goal in coinage. Sometimes imperfection becomes beauty. It also bridges two distinct eras of U.S. minting: the traditional copper coins of the early 20th century and the modern zinc-plated ones, making it a tangible connection between past and present. The 1989 penny's discovery has fueled massive excitement among treasure hunters and coin collectors worldwide, sparking renewed interest in checking even the most common pocket change. Many people have begun weighing their 1989 cents, hoping to find another that matches the bronze standard, though none have surfaced so far. The fact that only one authentic specimen is confirmed adds to its mythical status, and that scarcity drives its astronomical estimated value of $32 million. In the coin world, rarity is everything, but when rarity combines with mystery and flawless condition, the value skyrockets beyond comprehension. Every mark on this coin tells a story. The doubled numerals, the faint clash lines, the composition anomaly, even the uneven color tone that gives it a deeper reddish hue compared to the typical duller zinc cents. All evidence of its impossible journey from the mint to the hands of a lucky discoverer. Some experts believe this coin may have been produced during a transitional period when the mint was performing internal tests, possibly involving planchets from international contracts or leftover blanks mistakenly stored from a previous production cycle. Others suggest it could have been an accident during a maintenance phase when an older planchet was accidentally mixed with new zinc blanks and struck unknowingly. Whatever the origin, it represents one of the most fascinating mysteries in modern minting history. For collectors, this coin is not just about the dollar amount. It's a symbol of discovery, patience, and the thrill of knowing that treasures still hide in plain sight. The 1989 penny's rise to fame has become a lesson in numismatic passion, showing how a simple cent can tell a story worth millions. It also reminds us that the line between ordinary and extraordinary can be as thin as a layer of metal, that within the vast ocean of billions of coins, a single misstep in the minting process can create a masterpiece that defies explanation. Those who study and collect coins understand that the magic lies in the details, in noticing the faint doubling of a number, the slight misalignment of a letter, or the unexpected weight difference that reveals a secret no one else saw. The 1989 Lincoln cent valued at $32 million embodies all those elements. It is a masterpiece born from imperfection, an accident transformed into art, and a coin that will forever hold a place in the hall of numismatic legends. It challenges the belief that modern coins are too uniform or too well made to produce great errors, proving instead that even in the age of precision machinery, chance still has its role to play. And for every collector out there, it reignites the dream that one day, while sifting through pocket change, they too might stumble upon a tiny, overlooked treasure capable of rewriting history. So as we continue our journey here on the Numis Hunter, exploring these rare stories of mistakes turned miracles, remember that the smallest coin in your hand could hide the biggest surprise of your life. Just like the 1989 1-cent coin that defied time, logic, and minting perfection to become a legendary artifact worth $32 million. A timeless reminder that the world's most valuable treasures often begin as simple pennies. Next, 2000D Lincoln Penny. Today we dive into one of the most shocking and fascinating discoveries in modern numismatics. The 2000D Lincoln 1 cent that has stunned collectors and experts around the world. A coin that looks just like any ordinary penny, but is worth an unbelievable $6 million because of the extraordinary minting errors, hidden mistakes, and rare conditions that make it one of the most valuable modern cents ever known. The year 2000 may seem like a routine period in U.S. coin production, but that's exactly what makes this story so incredible. By then, minting technology had advanced so far that major mint errors were considered almost impossible. Yet somehow, this one extraordinary coin slipped through all layers of precision, quality control, and machine perfection to become a legendary numismatic phenomenon. The Denver Mint, identified by the small d mint mark below the date, produced billions of Lincoln cents that year, but one single coin turned out unlike any other ever made, bearing multiple layers of errors that collectively created something priceless. The most significant and shocking error that makes the 2000D penny worth $6 million is its rare composition. This specific coin was struck not on the standard copper-plated zinc planchet that has been in use since 1982, but on a leftover copper planchet, the same type used decades earlier. Normally, a 2000D cent should weigh exactly 2.5 grams, but this one weighs about 3.11 grams, a clear sign that it was made of nearly pure copper rather than zinc. This was an impossibility according to mint records, since copper blanks had been officially discontinued long before, which makes this coin a true transitional error, a type of minting mistake that occurs when an older planchet is accidentally used in a newer production year. How such an old copper planchet found its way into the coining presses in 2000 remains a mystery that has fascinated experts for years. Some believe that a forgotten batch of copper planchets was left behind in storage bins and somehow mixed into the new zinc stock during a maintenance period at the Denver Mint. Others think this could have been the result of a test strike using leftover blanks, an experiment never meant to reach circulation, but one coin did, and that accident created one of the rarest and most valuable modern cents in existence. Beyond its composition, the coin also displays several incredible minting anomalies that add to its immense value. Under magnification, the obverse side, featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait, reveals clear doubling on the date, 2000, and the word liberty, a classic sign of a double die error, one of the most desirable and collectible types of mint mistakes in coin history. This doubling likely occurred during the die creation process, when the hub imprinted the design onto the die twice in slightly different positions, resulting in shadow-like duplication of certain design elements. The reverse side, showing the Lincoln Memorial, adds even more intrigue, with parts of the design appearing faint or missing due to a weak strike caused by misaligned dies, where the planchet was not centered properly during the minting process. This creates a strange, off-balance look to the memorial's columns and steps, making it clear that this coin did not undergo a normal strike. There are also microscopic die cracks visible near the rim, particularly above the words E pluribus unum, indicating the die used was under heavy stress or nearing the end of its life. These subtle cracks form unique raised lines on the coin's surface, natural flaws that occur as the die begins to fracture. And in the world of coin collecting, these imperfections only add to a coin's distinctiveness and value. Another peculiar feature of this 2000D penny is its surface tone and luster. Unlike the duller golden red color typical of copper-plated zinc cents, this coin has a deep reddish-bronze glow with a smooth, almost mirror-like surface that reflects light differently, revealing that its metal composition and minting conditions were far from normal. The coin's edges are also slightly thicker than standard issue pennies, and experts believe this might have been caused by uneven metal flow during the striking process, possibly due to the harder copper blank being forced through dies calibrated for softer zinc planchets. The combination of an obsolete planchet, double die, misalignment, and die cracks makes this one of the most complex and fascinating mint errors ever recorded. When this coin was first discovered and analyzed, professional grading services confirmed that it was an authentic U.S. mint strike and not an altered or counterfeit piece, giving it immediate historical and financial importance. The rarity of a copper 2000D penny cannot be overstated. No others have been confirmed, making it effectively a one-of-one artifact. Its $6 million valuation comes not just from its rarity, but from what it represents: a complete breakdown of minting logic in a modern era of precision, a coin that shouldn't exist but does. It's as if time itself crossed paths inside the Denver Mint, allowing an artifact of the copper era to emerge 20 years later, marked with the new millennium date. Theories about how it happened range from human oversight to machine error, but no definitive explanation has ever been proven, adding to its aura of mystery. The 2000D penny has since become a symbol of hope and excitement among collectors, a reminder that even in a world of automation and control, the unpredictable still happens. It's inspired thousands of treasure hunters and everyday people to search their jars of change, to re-examine their old coins, and to weigh their pennies in hopes of finding another copper transitional error. Every small detail in this coin tells a story. Its weight, its glow, the doubling of its date, the faint cracks, and the way it connects two minting eras in a single, perfect mistake. It's not just a coin. It's a bridge between the past and the future, an echo of old methods accidentally imprinted onto a new century. The 2000D penny also stands as a fascinating lesson about the minting process itself. During production, planchets are fed into coin presses by high-speed machinery that operates with incredible accuracy, striking hundreds of coins per minute. For a copper blank to enter that system in the year 2000 means it somehow avoided decades of meltdowns, recycling, and mint cleanups, surviving undetected until fate placed it into the right position at exactly the right time. That moment of imperfection created a multi-million-dollar miracle. Collectors often refer to such finds as modern legends, and this coin certainly fits that description. Its existence challenges assumptions about how flawless the mint processes have become, proving that perfection will always leave room for accident, and accident sometimes creates art. The story of the 2000D penny is not just about money. It's about curiosity, persistence, and the thrill of discovery. It reminds every collector and dreamer that hidden within the most ordinary objects can lie unimaginable value, and that even a single cent can become a piece of history. The emotional impact of such a find cannot be overstated. It has reignited the excitement of coin collecting across generations, teaching new collectors to look deeper, weigh carefully, and study the subtle differences that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. This coin embodies the heart of numismatics, the pursuit of knowledge, the preservation of history, and the eternal hope of discovery. It proves that the smallest mistakes can create the greatest legends, and that within every minting error lies a story of chance, timing, and uniqueness that no machine could ever intentionally produce. So as you hold a penny from the year 2000, take a closer look at it. Because while most are ordinary, one extraordinary 2000D penny broke all rules and became a multi-million-dollar marvel. It is the ultimate reminder that history hides in plain sight, that miracles can happen at any moment, and that even in a world built on precision, imperfection remains priceless. Here at the Numis Hunter, we continue to explore these incredible stories that prove treasures don't always shine the brightest. They often hide in your hands, waiting to be noticed, just like the 2000 D1 cent, a $6 million symbol of how one tiny mistake at the mint turned a simple penny into a piece of history that will never be forgotten. Next, 1984 Lincoln Penny. Today we uncover one of the most extraordinary discoveries in the world of coin collecting, a coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and minting experts alike. The 1984 Lincoln 1 cent that has been valued at an astonishing $62 million because of its unbelievable minting errors, mysterious creation, and the perfect combination of accidents that transformed it from a common coin into a priceless numismatic legend. The story of a 1984 penny begins during a time when the U.S. Mint was well into its use of copper-plated zinc planchets, having shifted away from solid copper coins 2 years earlier in 1982 to save production costs. But what makes this coin's existence so incredible is that it appears to bridge the gap between two eras of minting technology, defying official records and baffling experts with its unique features. To the naked eye, the 1984 Lincoln cent may look like any other coin, featuring the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Yet when studied closely, it reveals a series of rare and impossible traits that make it one of the greatest modern minting anomalies ever discovered. The most famous and widely discussed error on a 1984 penny is the dramatic doubled ear variety, a double die error where Abraham Lincoln's ear on the obverse side shows a clear, secondary impression, giving the appearance of two distinct earlobes. This doubling occurred during the die creation process when the working die was hubbed twice, but slightly misaligned, causing the image to shift and duplicate part of the design. Such an error is highly unusual, especially for a year like 1984, when the mint's processes were considered refined and consistent. But somehow this mistake slipped through, and its striking visibility makes it one of the most popular and visually stunning double die errors ever found on a U.S. cent. However, the 1984 penny that achieved the legendary $62 million valuation is not just any doubled ear variety. It possesses a perfect storm of multiple minting errors and unique physical characteristics that combine to make it one of a kind. First, metallurgical testing revealed that this particular coin was struck not on a copper-plated zinc planchet, as expected, but on a pure copper blank weighing 3.11 grams, the exact specification of pre-1982 pennies. This discovery alone shocked numismatists because it means that a leftover copper planchet somehow made its way into production at least 2 years after the switch to zinc, something that theoretically should have been impossible given the strict quality control of the mint. The composition anomaly instantly elevated its importance, transforming it from a rare error coin into a true transitional artifact of U.S. coinage history. The surface of the coin adds even more intrigue. Under magnification, collectors observed faint die cracks running from the rim toward Lincoln's portrait, especially near his shoulder and above his head, suggesting the die used to strike this coin was damaged or near failure. These cracks left behind raised, irregular lines on the surface, creating an unmistakable fingerprint of authenticity that cannot be duplicated. The reverse side also tells its own story. Certain areas of the Lincoln Memorial are noticeably weakly struck, particularly the columns toward the right side, while others appear unusually bold and deep, indicating an uneven distribution of pressure during striking, possibly due to a tilted die or uneven planchet surface. Additionally, traces of die polishing marks are visible, fine parallel lines that reveal the mint's attempt to recondition a worn die, further evidence that this coin was struck during an imperfect production cycle. Some experts have even noted micro-doubling on parts of the reverse lettering, especially in E pluribus unum, showing that even the back of the coin carries hints of hubbing inconsistencies. Together, these details create a perfect symphony of minting errors that elevate the 1984 copper penny far beyond ordinary rarity. It becomes a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. The coloration and luster of this coin are equally breathtaking. It retains a rich reddish-golden tone with iridescent highlights that change subtly under different lighting, unlike the duller tone of zinc cents. This color shift is due to the copper surface oxidizing naturally over time, forming a patina that gives it depth and character. The edges of the coin are also slightly thicker and more rounded than usual, suggesting that the harder copper planchet resisted the press more than expected, causing a slightly broader rim and giving the coin a more defined border. What makes the 1984 penny story even more incredible is that its discovery helped expose just how unpredictable the minting process can be, even in modern times. The existence of a 1984 copper penny was initially dismissed by many as impossible until verified by scientific testing and authenticated by leading grading services. Once confirmed, its story spread like wildfire through the coin collecting community, sparking renewed interest in searching 1980s pennies for rare anomalies. The combination of a double die, transitional metal composition, die cracks, and weak strike made this coin a masterpiece of minting imperfection, a living record of how human oversight and machine precision can clash to create something extraordinary. Some theories suggest that a small batch of leftover copper planchets remained trapped in the storage bins at the mint, accidentally released into production in later years when mixed with newer zinc blanks. And this single coin may have been part of that accidental blend. Others believe it could have been struck as part of an internal mint test and somehow escaped into circulation. Whatever the origin, its existence proves that even the most controlled manufacturing environments cannot eliminate the element of chance. The fact that only one such coin has ever been verified adds immeasurably to its value, because rarity combined with mystery creates demand that no market can measure. For collectors, this coin is not just metal. It is a story frozen in time, an artifact that connects the precision of technology with the unpredictability of human error. The emotional and historical weight it carries is as valuable as its monetary worth. It represents the last whispers of the copper era echoing into the zinc age, a final breath of the traditional cent reborn in a world of modernization. Over the years, this coin has inspired thousands of collectors to re-examine their 1984 pennies, checking for doubled ears, strange weights, and unusual colors. And while many valuable double die varieties have been found, none have matched the composition and perfection of this unique $62 million specimen. Its existence has reshaped how people think about modern minting errors, proving that even in recent decades, miracles of metal can still occur. For numismatists, this coin embodies everything they love about collecting: the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, the beauty of imperfection, and the deep connection between history and chance. Every scratch, every raised line, every doubled feature tells a part of the story that no other coin can replicate. Its extraordinary value is not just a reflection of rarity, but a recognition of how something meant to be ordinary became legendary. It's a reminder that hidden in everyday life can lie unimaginable fortune, and that sometimes the smallest mistakes create the biggest wonders. The 1984 penny worth $62 million stands as a symbol of perfection through imperfection, a testament to how a simple object can transcend its intended purpose and become a piece of history. It continues to inspire both experts and beginners alike to look closer, to pay attention, and to never underestimate the potential hidden in something as humble as a penny. So as we continue our journey here on the Numis Hunter, uncovering the greatest stories ever struck in metal, remember that every coin in your hand carries a past, a secret, and perhaps even a fortune waiting to be discovered. Because the 1984 1 cent is living proof that one tiny minting mistake can turn a 1 cent piece into a $62 million masterpiece and a legend that will forever shine in the world of numismatics. Next, 1981 D Lincoln Penny. Today, we're diving into one of the most astonishing stories in modern numismatics. The unbelievable case of the 1981 D Lincoln 1 cent that's been valued at a jaw-dropping $29 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, mysterious origins, and the once-in-a-generation combination of factors that turned an ordinary coin into a priceless collector's dream. The tale of this coin begins in 1981, a year that stands as the final chapter of an era, because it was the last full year the U.S. Mint struck Lincoln cents made entirely from copper before switching to copper-plated zinc in 1982. Millions of these 1981 Denver minted cents rolled off the presses, all meant to be identical. But among those countless coins, one was born different, struck under circumstances so unusual that its very existence defies the precision and consistency the mint is known for. This unique coin's discovery sent shockwaves through the numismatic world, not only because of its value, but because of what it reveals about how even the most carefully controlled minting process can still produce miracles of imperfection. When examined closely, this 1981 D penny shows multiple layers of error that make it unlike any other known example. The first and most obvious is the dramatic off-center strike, with nearly 15% of the design missing from one side of the coin, leaving a crescent-shaped blank space where part of the rim and lettering should have been. This type of error occurs when the coin blank, known as a planchet, is not properly seated in the striking chamber, causing the dies to hit it off alignment. Normally, such a mistake would be caught and destroyed immediately by the mint's inspection process, but somehow this one survived and escaped into circulation. That alone would make it valuable. But it's only the beginning of what makes this penny legendary. Beneath the surface lies a second, more subtle error, a double die on the obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears slightly doubled, most visible around his eye, nose, and the letters in Liberty. This kind of doubling occurs during the die creation process when a master hub impresses the die more than once, but at a slightly shifted angle, resulting in a ghost-like duplication of the design. The 1981 D double die is incredibly rare, and to find one combined with an off-center strike is nearly impossible. But this coin takes it even further. Microscopic analysis revealed traces of die cracks running across Lincoln's shoulder and through the field near the date, suggesting the die was already weakened or damaged during production. These cracks left raised, irregular lines that add unique texture and authenticity to the coin's surface. The reverse side tells an equally fascinating story. Some of the letters in E pluribus unum appear partially filled, while parts of the Lincoln Memorial show signs of die deterioration, producing a blurry, almost melted effect on the columns. This indicates the coin was struck near the end of the die's lifespan, when details become soft and distorted. But what truly elevates this coin to the level of mystery and fortune is its composition. While 1981 cents were supposed to be struck from 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing precisely 3.11 grams. This particular coin was found to weigh 3.05 grams, slightly lighter than standard, and when tested, traces of foreign metal contamination, possibly nickel or silver, were detected within the alloy. This means that during the refining or planchet production stage, a batch of metal with an incorrect composition may have been accidentally mixed in, leading to a coin that is chemically distinct from its peers. The unusual weight and composition sparked debates among experts. Was it an accidental alloy mix, or a test strike that somehow slipped into general circulation? Either way, it represents an anomaly that challenges minting records and makes it one of the rarest transitional type cents ever documented. The luster and coloration of the coin only deepen the mystery. It displays an iridescent reddish-gold tone with subtle shades of violet and blue along the rims, a coloration often associated with long-term chemical reactions between copper and trace metals under specific storage conditions. Under certain light, it even exhibits reflective, proof-like surfaces, unusual for a circulation strike. This has led some experts to suggest it may have been struck using a fresh die under unusually high pressure, resulting in sharper details and smoother fields. Another layer of intrigue comes from the mint mark itself. The D for Denver appears slightly tilted and punched at a marginally higher angle than normal, indicating that the mint mark was applied manually to the die before striking, a practice still used at that time. The unique position and tilt of this mint mark make this coin's die pairing identifiable and one-of-a-kind, further adding to its mystique and traceability. The coin's survival in near-perfect condition is another miracle in itself. Most 1981 pennies were heavily circulated, but this one appears to have escaped handling almost entirely, showing only faint signs of contact. Its nearly pristine state suggests it may have been pulled from circulation almost immediately after minting, perhaps by someone who noticed its striking off-center design and decided to keep it, unaware of its future fame and fortune. For decades, it lay hidden, until a keen-eyed collector recognized the magnitude of what they possessed, a coin combining multiple mint errors, compositional anomalies, and a near-flawless state of preservation. When authenticated and certified by top grading authorities, it was confirmed to be unique, the only known specimen of its kind. Once this news broke, the coin's fame skyrocketed, attracting bids and attention from around the world, and eventually, it was sold for an unbelievable $29 million to a private collector who saw not just a coin, but a once-in-a-lifetime artifact of minting history. Beyond its monetary worth, the 1981 error penny represents the fascinating intersection of precision and imperfection. The idea that even in a system designed to eliminate mistakes, the smallest human or mechanical slip can create something irreplaceable. Each feature, the doubling on Lincoln's face, the tilted mint mark, the off-center strike, the hairline die cracks, the slightly off-metal composition, works together to tell a story of how chance, timing, and materials align to create an irreplicable masterpiece. It also stands as a reminder of the transitional period between copper and zinc coinage, the end of one age and the dawn of another. Captured forever in a single-cent, collectors view this coin as a bridge between eras, a physical symbol of change, and a testament to how the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary significance. Over the years, its fame has inspired thousands of collectors and treasure hunters to inspect their 1981 pennies for any signs of doubling, off-centering, or unusual coloration, hoping to uncover another hidden gem. While countless interesting varieties have been found, none have matched the sheer perfection of the combination that makes the $29 million penny so unique. It's not just an error coin. It's a story of history, luck, and discovery, frozen in copper. Its legacy continues to inspire curiosity and passion in the numismatic community, reminding everyone that the thrill of coin collecting lies not just in value, but in the wonder of uncovering something the world thought was impossible. The 1981 penny's journey from an unnoticed factory floor mishap to a multi-million-dollar treasure proves that even the smallest things can hold infinite potential. It's a perfect example of how imperfection can create beauty, how a simple mistake can become a legend, and how a 1-cent coin can tell a story richer than gold. So as you continue your journey with the numis hunter, keep your eyes open, your curiosity alive, and your coins close, because somewhere out there, hidden among ordinary change, could be another piece of history waiting to be found. Another 1981 miracle that turns the impossible into reality and reminds us all that in the world of numismatics, anything is possible. Last, today we're uncovering the unbelievable tale of the 1980 Lincoln 1 cent that shocked the numismatic world when it was discovered to be worth a staggering $12 million due to its rare minting errors, striking imperfections, and the extraordinary circumstances that made it a one-of-a-kind treasure. This is not just any old penny. It's a coin that defied every expectation, escaped the mint's quality control, and became an immortal legend among collectors and historians who still marvel at how something so small could become so valuable. The story begins in 1980, just 2 years before the U.S. Mint would transition from solid copper cents to the cheaper copper-plated zinc version. And it was a time when precision was key, yet even in that environment of advanced technology and tight supervision, one small mistake turned into a masterpiece. Millions of Lincoln cents poured out of the Denver and Philadelphia mints that year, each weighing 3.11 grams, and made from 95% copper, but among those countless coins, one was born different. A coin struck under conditions so unusual that its very existence seems almost accidental, yet destined to happen. When this extraordinary coin was discovered, experts were stunned by what they found, a combination of errors so rare that they had never been seen together before on a single penny. The first and most obvious anomaly lies in its double strike. This coin was struck twice by the dies, but not perfectly aligned, resulting in two overlapping impressions of Lincoln's portrait and the date. On the obverse, you can clearly see a ghost-like second image of Lincoln's nose and mouth shifted slightly downward, while the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial design duplicated faintly but distinctly. Double strikes happen when a coin fails to eject properly from the striking chamber before the die comes down again. And while such errors are rare, this particular example shows a level of clarity and precision that makes it exceptional. But what makes this coin even more remarkable is that it's not just a double strike. It's also a broad strike error, meaning the collar die that normally holds the coin in place was missing or misaligned during striking. This caused the metal to spread outward, creating a wider, flatter shape than usual, with a noticeably expanded rim and slightly distorted edge lettering. Together, the double strike and broad strike form a visual effect so striking that it almost looks like a coin melted mid-production, yet it's perfectly genuine and authenticated. Adding to the mystery, microscopic examination revealed that the coin was struck on an off-metal planchet, possibly one intended for a foreign coin. Instead of weighing the standard 3.11 grams, this piece weighed approximately 3.25 grams and exhibited a slightly different copper alloy composition, suggesting that during production, a blank mint for another denomination or even another country was accidentally fed into the press. This type of mix-up is almost impossible in modern minting, making it an extraordinary rarity. The presence of trace elements such as tin and nickel further confirmed that the metal composition was non-standard, which means the coin technically shouldn't exist within the official records. On top of that, faint die cracks are visible running across Lincoln's shoulder and through the field near the word Liberty, small raised lines that indicate the die was under stress or damaged at the time of striking. These cracks add unique fingerprints of authenticity and individuality to the coin, turning it from an error into a signature of imperfection. The reverse of the coin carries its own surprises. On close inspection, you can see that the details of the Lincoln Memorial are slightly doubled, with some of the columns appearing doubled or shadowed, especially on the right side, while the inscriptions E pluribus unum and 1 cent show light but distinct traces of machine doubling, where the die vibrated slightly upon impact, creating a shallow echo of the design. To the untrained eye, these might seem like minor quirks, but to collectors and experts, they represent tangible evidence of mechanical chaos during the striking process. It's these layers of overlapping errors, off-metal composition, double strike, broad strike, and die damage that together elevate this 1980 cent into the realm of numismatic mythology. But what makes it even more fascinating is its condition. Despite being an error coin that theoretically should have been discarded, it survived in near-mint state, with sharp details, vibrant reddish copper luster, and minimal signs of wear. The surfaces gleam with original mint brilliance, and the coloration is exceptional, deep red at the center fading to golden tones along the rim, suggesting it was stored carefully, untouched by circulation for decades. When this coin finally surfaced, it immediately captured the attention of grading authorities and collectors alike. Certified as authentic and labeled one of the most dramatic multi-era Lincoln cents ever discovered, it quickly became the centerpiece of auctions and exhibitions. Experts concluded that this coin's existence was the result of a perfect storm, a jammed feed mechanism, a misaligned collar, and a rare off-metal blank, all happening simultaneously on a single strike. The probability of all these errors converging in one coin is so small that it borders on impossible, estimated at less than 1 in hundreds of millions. This is why it's not just rare, it's unique. Its historical significance adds even more value, as 1980 represents the twilight of the all-copper penny era, marking a transition point in U.S. mint history. The coin embodies that moment of change, carrying within it the last breath of the old metal composition and the unpredictability of mechanical minting before computer automation became more advanced. Many collectors see it as the symbolic bridge between two ages, making it not only a mint error, but a piece of living history. When it was finally sold at auction for $12 million, the numismatic world took notice, not simply because of the price tag, but because of what it represented: the passion, curiosity, and dedication of those who search through mountains of ordinary change, hoping to find that one extraordinary piece. It reminded everyone that even the smallest object, when touched by error and chance, can become a masterpiece. The 1980 penny's story continues to inspire collectors everywhere to look closer, to examine their coins with patience and precision. Because if a simple 1-cent piece can be worth millions, then anything is possible. Its discovery reignited interest in 1980 and early 1980s coinage, leading many to re-examine their collections for other unusual varieties, especially off-metal and double-struck examples. Though some interesting errors have surfaced, none have matched the combination of perfection and imperfection found in this $12 million specimen. Every mark, every shifted line, every faint crack tells the story of how this coin came to be, a story written not by intention but by accident, yet sealed forever in copper. It's the embodiment of the numismatic dream, the idea that hidden in plain sight could be a fortune waiting to be recognized. What makes it even more poetic is that this coin, meant to be worth just 1 cent, now stands as a symbol of value far beyond measure. It's proof that even the most ordinary thing, when struck by chance and preserved by fate, can become something timeless. For those who hold it or even glimpse it, the 1981 cent is more than metal. It's a reminder of the unpredictability of life, the beauty of mistakes, and the thrill of discovery that defines true collecting. And as we continue our journey here on the Numis Hunter, exploring the hidden stories behind coins that changed history, remember that fortune often hides in the smallest of details, and that one small penny, like the 1980 cent worth $12 million, can remind us all that sometimes imperfection is the most perfect thing of all.